What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, Trey the Brute Daniels, and welcome to the episode of the Indie Corner, where I sit down from everybody from the independent community, writers, artists, directors, producers. Doesn't matter if you're in the game, I want to talk to you. So today we have ourselves a very good guest. He is the owner of Target Destroyed Comics. Give it up, everybody, for Nicholas O.G.
Thanks very much for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine, my friend. How are you doing?
Oh, doing great. Just making comics and killing it.
Oh, that's the dream. That's the dream. That's good. That's good. Well, first of all, before we even get into everything, I want to thank you so much for making the time to come and talk to me. I know you're a jack of all trades. You're elbow deep in just about everything. So I'm happy that you made some time for me.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a fun time, and I can't wait to sit down and talk shop with you.
Oh yes, oh yes. So before we get started on all this great stuff you're doing at Target Destroy Comics, let's get to know you a little bit, Nick. So where you're from? How did we get here?
Oh man, so right now I'm in Ottawa. I've been here for about 15 years. I grew up in BC, also in Canada, but kind of on the coast. I was born in Germany, and I've been making comics and doing art my whole life. It's all I've ever wanted to do. So just living the dream, man.
Wow. So you were born in Germany?
Yeah.
Military family?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's usually the case. I'm like born in Germany? I'm like, I hear no accent. I'm like, he was a military family. Okay, that's cool.
And growing up in BC was a lot of fun. Like, they have a big film industry. So I sort of, like, when I was in high school, I started getting my first jobs doing storyboarding. So I did some, like, professional storyboarding jobs when I was still in school and the summers and stuff. And it was, it's good paying, but no one gets to see the work. Like, it's just the director. So it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I can understand that. Storyboard is always, como se dice, not visually stimulating.
But it's like, it's the same muscles that you use for like storytelling and comics kind of thing. So it's good for that, and like the money's a lot better than comics.
Yeah.
But it's just, no one will ever see it.
So when did you begin the transition into comics then? What inspired you from what you grow up reading comic books, watching cartoons? Like how did you get there?
Yeah, I've been in love with comics my whole life. Like I still have like the first copies I've ever got of anything. Like I have, like, my collection's massive. I've been reading comics, I think, like, definitely since I was like 4 or 5, but like I'd say I became like an active collector when I was about 8. Like I was reading like Uncanny X-Men was the first book I really started picking up. Go to the grocery stores on Wednesdays or whatever with my mom just to pick up the new issues. And yeah, so that got me really into it. So it was the Joe Mad era, so
okay,
he was a big influence on me, and those covers are just amazing.
Very much so. So pretty much the same for me as well.
Oh yeah,
come out the womb with it. So it all just comes to come together. So you grew up as a fan, like a lot of us do. So what made you want to transition to just being a fan to actually want to be in the industry?
Just loving like art so much. Like even when I was like in BC, pretty close to Seattle, so I'd go to Emerald City Comic Cons when it was on there, which is like one of the best shows especially back then for indie creators. It's just awesome. So I was doing portfolio reviews even back when I was a kid. So just getting notes and stuff. I got my first portfolio review was Eric Larson, and that was a lot of fun. He tore my stuff to shreds, and I haven't looked back since.
it always the growing pains that makes us much better creators. I remember a lot of my early work was what's a nice way of putting it? Destroyed. So yeah, but that's what it takes. Sometimes like that refining period for your creative vision. You need heat to temper the steel, So that's cool. That's cool. So you grew up as a fan, just started getting into the industry and all that wonderful stuff. Now, did you have like a good support chain, like for your folks, that your folks want you to do that, or did they want you to do something else?
Yeah, like I went to like university kind of thing and like for other stuff. But the whole time I was just sitting at home skipping class and drawing comics. So it was but I mean I did like I finished and everything, but it was my focus was definitely always on comics kind of thing. I have a very supportive family for it as well. My uncle also is a comic artist as well.
Oh,
So
sweet.
like yeah, so he'd always give me like tips and stuff like that. So that was nice having that growing up.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I wish I had other families in the industry. I wish I did. Yeah, a lot of my family that's from a creative standpoint are more musically inclined. So I have, musical artists and jazz singers and stuff like that. So I grew up in a very musical environment, and I used to do a little background for rock operas and stuff like that. But my first love was always comics, video games, and the media. That was always my first love. So I was like, hey, look, I love the music thing and all that stuff, but I'm really into writing, and I'm really into comics. I'm really into video games, cartoons, and so I decided to start pursuing that years ago now. But I haven't looked back since. But that's cool. But yeah, I love your journey. I think that's really awesome. So you got this good support chain. So how does Target Destroyed Comics come to life?
Well, I've done some like I've had some published work with some other places, and I don't know. I just like I like publishers and stuff. I think that I've had some problems with some. I'm not going to go into that, but I really like being in control of my stuff. I'm really nitpicky. I'm kind of a perfectionist. Like when I do books for other people, I do the art generally. I don't write for people most of the time, but I always end up with colorists like where I get a sample, the first sample page back, and it's heartbreaking. So I like the amount of colorists I've kicked off a book and then take their rate, which is way below my rate, just so that it doesn't look like that. So I got like, and it's like eventually at this point, I was just like, if I'm going to be doing everything myself anyways, I may as well write the stories that I want to do and focus more on that.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of zombie books for other people. My first published thing that I wrote was a zombie story as well. So I kind of started doing a lot of horror stuff. I've done some superhero stuff too, but mostly horror. So Target Destroyed is like 90% horror or comedy horror as well. And then I've just finished my first kids book as well. So
Sweet.
That's going to be, I have a different logo for that one.
Oh, I'm certain. But that's really cool. And I agree with your same sentiments. I like the idea of my vision being my own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of, hey, I've created this brainchild and now I have to hand it off to somebody else for them to now do whatever they want, make it into an amalgamation of their own.
Or at the very least you expect them to promote it, but then they like start blaming you for stuff, and it's like I've done my part. You paid me for a story. I've delivered the story. Now you sell the story. That's you.
Yes.
So
yes,
it's like if I'm going to be doing the promotion work outside of it, like I may as well be promoting my own brand.
If I have to do all the work, I might as well reap all the benefits. I'm with it.
Yeah. It's like that
110%.
classic, like just the hip hop self promotion kind of thing, Like if I'm going to be doing the promoting and all the art, like then it's going to be for me.
Exactly. What do I need you for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. But that's cool. So, when did Target Destroy Comics? When did it form? Like what year did you put it together?
The first book that we put out with it on the cover was Death Row Sorcerer. It's kind of been like my studio name for a while before that. So about 2 years ago, I'd say.
Okay.
Which of course is like like right at the beginning of the pandemic kind of stuff. So like I haven't tabled at cons under the name yet, but I'm really excited to start going to cons again next month, and I can't wait to get back out there and have my whole Target Destroyed setup going on.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait till you do it. Where's the first con? I'm assuming you got your booth all ready for your next.
Oh
con?
yeah, for sure. I've been waiting for 2 years for it. We got Montreal Comic Con happening next month, so that'll be a big one. That one's always fun too. Awesome. There's a great community around Montreal in the comic scene.
Excellent, excellent. Always love seeing my fellow creators when they do their first. I always love the excitement in their eyes. It's great. It's great. I love that. I love that. So that's great. That's excellent. So let's talk a little bit about your work here. So from what I've seen, you've been burning the candle at all types of ends. I see a whole lot of things that you're out here producing. You got your Death Row. You got your Beyond the Wall of Sleep. The music of it was. I know I'm going to say this wrong. Eric Zahn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. My German's not that bad. Okay. All right. All right. So tell me a little bit about some of the work you're cooking.
Yeah, so the Beyond the Wall of Sleep and the music of Eric Zahn are part of a 10-year project that I'm doing. Producing once every year, I'll produce a H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. So I do them on the 100th anniversaries of when the stories was published. So it really helps me narrow down what I'm doing in a year. So I started in 2019 with Beyond the Wall of Sleep, and that was the 100th anniversary of that story being published. So I was like, that's the perfect time to do this story. It's one of my favorite Lovecraft stories. It's pretty weird. So I started doing that. I'm on year 5 or 4 now. I don't know. It's been a lot.
It's all just one long day.
Yeah, for sure. So after that one, I did one called HBL 1920, and that one's a collection of 3 different short stories by Lovecraft. There wasn't like a big seminal story, so I decided to just do 3 kind of minis for that one. And then most recently is the music Eric Zahn, which came out last October, and that one was also a blast. It was it was really fun to do that one because I got to draw a lot of like France stuff and a whole bunch of different kind of ideas in there. One of the cool things about Lovecraft stuff that really draws me to it is that because it's the horror of the unknown and the unseen kind of thing, trying to create like visual languages, and like when you're reading a book, you have no idea what like the author, like they can try and convey it, but trying to put a visual language to these like, phantasm, like cosmic horrors, that's the best part. And that's what Beyond the Wall of Sleep had, a lot of that. Like it had some really cool dreamscapes in there. And then music Eric Zahn, like the final sequence in that is just one of the coolest things I've ever drawn.
That's really cool. So now my brain is cooking up all types of questions here. So one that stood out to me, of course, was the music of Eric Zahn. Is this this particular issue, is it a musical?
Well, like the story, like it is about like this musician and stuff, this mute musician in France, and he's kind of, the story itself is about him, this guy traveling from America to France, and this tenant in the same building of him plays like these haunting tunes throughout the night, and it kind of keeps him up. And eventually he meets this strange old man. The story culminates with finding out that he's kind of keeping this otherworldly terror at bay with these haunting songs and melodies. And in the story, the narrator kind of passes out when he sees what he sees. So they don't really get too much into it, but in my version of it, it's a lot more visually, because it's a comic. You have to do things for the medium, so it would be boring if he just passed out and you didn't get to see what he saw. So I drew a hell of a nightmare scape in that one.
Interesting. That's creative. That's creative. I like that. That's a really good idea. Okay. Now, all right. So I should have asked this earlier, but my brain's playing catch up, but it's all good. So you were born in Germany. Now, were you raised there at all?
No, I was there for like a year and then moved to BC.
Okay, because I was asking because the name Eric Zahn, it does have German descent. So
yeah,
I was
for sure.
So I was wondering if any of the German culture has influenced your creative vision.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah, because that's why I was a little. I was like, wait a minute. He said he was born in Germany. Eric Zahn, Germany. Like, okay, yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. I really like that. So tell me just a touch. You don't have to get into spoilers. There's no need for spoilers. But if you can tell me about what your creative process is when it comes to your 4 books that I see here, because they all seem like they're all different genres. and they all have like different flavors to it, which is unique from usually when it's coming from one writer. So that's very fascinating to me. So what is your creative process when it comes to your style?
It changes from book to book. Sometimes I give myself little challenges each book. Like Beyond the Wall of Sleep, for example, that was a book where I was like, I'm not going to use a ruler. I just freehanded the whole thing. And so that was like my kind of mini challenge there. Death Row Sorcerer was the book I did next. I worked on that one. I had that story idea. That one's not based on anything. It's just completely original. And it's a self-contained story. It's like a beginning, middle, end. And for that book, I kind of worked Marvel method.
Okay.
Like I had the idea narrowed down to the point where like it was so tight that I wasn't really working off a script other than pacing.
Okay.
And then I scripted it at the end with my buddy Kurt Belcher. So that was a bit different, but that's generally how I prefer to work. I like the Marvel method quite a bit, where you have a story outline and then you give it to an artist. The artist does what he's going to do with it, and then the writer comes back and makes the kind of things. If things are unclear, they'll kind of say it out loud, or if things are so apparent that they don't need to be said anymore, then you can take it away. It's a bit weird doing the Marvel method when you're both the writer and the artist. I'm not sure many people do that, but it's definitely how I prefer to work.
That's cool.
That story, actually, the challenge on that one was I had a shoulder operation on my drawing arm.
Oh my God.
so I did half that book is with my left hand.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I couldn't decide which cover I liked better, the left hand or right hand. So that's my only book so far with a variant cover.
Wow. You're ambidextrous.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my.
It's a lot slower with the left, though.
That's crazy. Wow. That is really cool. Wow. That's dope. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it was kind of a necessity, man. There's a term like Graphomaniac where all you just want to do is draw. So it's like I would be out of commission for 4 months here. I wasn't doing that, so I started before the surgery even, my arm was messed up anyway, so I just started tooling around with the left hand, getting it used to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Inking's quite hard.
So okay, now I'm curious. Okay. All right, so your dominant hand is your right hand, I would assume. So with your left hand, you said inking is hard. Now, is inking hard? I mean, because I have no idea. Why would inking be more difficult outside of the standard art with your left hand instead of anything else?
Well, so I can redraw and erase a pencil line, no problem. But when you're working with pen and brush, there's a level of control on that brush that's it's just a pain in the butt if you mess up or if something goes wrong. So it's just that the dexterity needed and the focus is a bit different. And there's if I ink digitally, it would be different. You can just go Control Z.
Of course.
But I'm kind of a traditionalist when it comes to the line art aspect of comics.
Okay, and I think you're one of the few that's still around that kind of does it that style.
Yeah, it's there's pros and cons to both. I know a lot of people really tout the idea of it's so much faster to work digitally, but you're also going to take a pay cut, like a hit to your pocketbook, because you're not able to sell pages anymore. So
that's also true.
I sell enough pages to make it worth doing traditional.
Okay.
And I don't have to spend a couple $1,000s on a Wacom tablet.
Nice. Where I come from, that's called diversifying your bonds. I like that. That's cool, man. That's cool. That is fascinating. Wow, I've never heard that before. That's crazy. That's what's up. You surprised me, Nicholas. You surprised me. I'm not easily surprised, but I like that. I like that. But that's cool. All right, so where can we all get our hands on your great work there, Nicholas?
I run about 2 Kickstarters a year. So if you follow me on Kickstarter, you can find my stuff there. I have an Etsy store where you can get all my back issues and other stuff. I've got Target Destroyer is like a boutique comic publisher, I'll say. You can just buy a book, but it comes with posters. I have these deluxe packages where I do lino block prints, I do screen prints, My envelopes are the coolest. When you get your mailer, you know it's from me. I silk screen my envelopes. It's great. Like it's an experience when you get a book from me. And they're all available on Etsy. I got tons of back catalogs. The way I work my Kickstarters is I pay enough for a big print run. That's what my goal is. And then when I go to conventions or whatever, anything I sell is just profit. It's all profit. It's already been paid for.
Smart man. That's the way to do it too. That's the way to do it.
So yeah, I've got like tons of books down in my studio, like thousands of them just available. And so yeah, lino block prints, bookmarks. You get all that in the kitchen sink when you order from me.
Nice. Well, that is really good, and that's really brilliant. Nicholas, you have a heck of a story, brother. You have a heck of a story, a heck of a journey. A lot of great work that you're doing. I love all the aspects, how you're spreading all across different genres. I think you're really doing something really, really cool, really unique, and I cannot wait to see what else you come up with, my friend.
Oh, thanks so much, man. It's a journey, and it's never gonna stop.
Absolutely.
We're taking over.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave links to all your great stuff, all your great work in the description section below. So everybody, check out Nicholas' work of Target Destroyed Comics. He's doing amazing things. Support, especially up there, up with my brothers and sisters up north from me. Definitely check out all his work and when he goes to his first con. And what date? Do you have a date yet, Nicholas?
Like it's not my first con. It's just the first one back since
stuff.
So I think it's mid-July, I do believe. I'm also going to be in Hamilton. I've got one in Ottawa as well. Like it's I can't wait to go. Like conventions are I've missed them so much. Like they're so much fun. So it's like it's going to be great.
Yeah. So definitely whenever his booth number drops, whenever he has the dates, definitely check him out over there at those cons. He's doing, as I love to say on this show, the Lord's work. He's doing amazing things. And that guy right there, check out all his stuff. So, Nick, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to sit here and talk with me with your right and left hands, doing all that great stuff. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, thanks again, man. It was a lot of fun. And like I said, I'll have to have you on my show. We can talk about your books.
Absolutely. I'd love to. You just let me know. I will definitely pencil that into my all over the place schedule.
Awesome, man. That sounds great. And I'll shoot you some of my links to my stuff so you can throw them in the description.
That will be tremendous. So everybody, that is Nicholas OG. Had to say it like that at least one time. And who am I? I'm Dre the Brute Daniels. Follow me on all my dope social media platforms. I'll put right under my face. They're not there yet, but they will be at TheBrute00 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if I feel like being silly, on TikTok. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. You all have been awesome, and I will catch you all next time. Also, if you want to support my channel, check out spinwiz.com or download the Spinwiz app and check out my comic series, Trouble. It was written with a lot of love, and it was definitely my favorite comic series to write. I've also written it in English and in Spanish, so whatever floats your boat, I got it for you. Thanks again, and check it out.